Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing a check-in on my HRCYED board, HRCYED everything. So on the screen right now is my HRCYED spreadsheet. If you're unfamiliar with HRCYED, it stands for the hardest reading challenge you will ever do. And there are 25 different challenges to complete within 1 year, which I think is super fun. We're going to go through all these tabs. I'm going to give a brief introduction of HRCYED since this is my first HRCYED video. I've started it on July 1st, so it was created by the creator on YouTube, Qwordy. She also has TikTok and Instagram, which I'll try to link down below if I remember, but I don't use TikTok or Instagram, so I'll try to copy it like from her page. As well as the HRCYED website. There's a website where you can submit all of your like selections and stuff. I'm only submitting to the website when I have completed one, so I've only done this one, the Complete Any Readathon. When you're looking on here, the board, everything that's white is like, this is what it is. This is the challenge. Purple is a little bit more customizable, and green is one that I have completed. So as you can see, I've only completed one, and it's been about 4.5 months. So we are about whatever 4 divided by 12, a third of the way through, and I've completed one. So I'm partly doing this to hold myself a little more accountable to actually complete this challenge, but also to, just try to do better at this and actually get some recommendations for books that I need to read to fill out some of these challenges. So it's a really fun challenge, and it's just a way to diversify your reading. So I'll link all of the information down below, but I want to go through the tabs as well. So we have the first tab here. So this is the introduction, and there's like some links and stuff here. So it's HRCYED.mycanva site. And then the bingo board, we've got, I already showed you. So these are all the challenges, and this is cool. You can like actually link and it'll jump to that tab if that's the one you want to look at. Okay, so you can see the tracker. We have books in here from July, August, September, October, and November. I'm hoping to do these monthly, so I'll probably end up just showing November and December next month, but you can see all of the books that I've completed for this challenge. There's the page count, the prompts that you're using it for. You can use each prompt for 2 separate prompts. You can use one book for 2 prompts. And then you can earn points. We'll go through the points calculator, the rating you gave it, genre, status, whether it's new or a reread. You see I have some rereads down here. Intended audience, so young adult, adult. There's a drop-down menu for most of this stuff. I only really read young adult and adult. I don't really know what new adult is. Does anyone? I don't know what that is. And then novel versus novella. I'm reading a novella at the moment. And then how you read it, so audio, paperback. The really cool thing about this is, say you read it and you listen to the audio, you can do it like that, or ebook and audio. Series status, when you got the book, when it was released. So you can see like, okay, I'm mostly reading books that I got in 2025 or 2024. Most of my books that I own are from 2024 or 2025. And then the publish year, publisher, cover color, all this stuff is tracked in other spreadsheets like the stats, and how many days it took you to read it, etc. So, oh, you guys can't see that part. Let me scroll over a little, hopefully. No, it's not gonna show it. Let's see if I can, move the screen over a little bit. So days to read, now you can see that there. But let's go ahead and go back to this. You don't need to see my whole screen. So the stats page, this has all of the stats for your reading. So this is a really fun little page over here. So it's got the total books that you read, the total number of pages. I can zoom this in a little bit more, I think. Yeah. The number of hours that I spent listening to audiobooks, total spent. So that's I didn't buy these books specifically for this challenge, but if I spent money on the books, so I've read 31. I've actually only read 28, but 3 books that I'm in the middle of, I have added to the spreadsheet, to the tracker, but I haven't marked them as read yet. So if you go back here, you can see that I don't have a star rating for 3 of them. So by any other name, Page Boy and the River Has Roots. I'm listening to this one right now and then reading these 2 others. This one I actually started in August, so oops. But Yeah, or maybe I started it in September. It looks like maybe I started it in September. I think this was the September book, right? What was the August book? Did I read it in August? I have a personal challenge where I read the most popular book from the previous year. I don't know. I thought this was the August book, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm behind on those if I still haven't finished that one. So I think maybe that's the September. No, September is Intermezzo. So this is the August book. But anyway, I haven't finished it yet. I really do hope to finish it this month. It's not a bad book. I just have not like spent a ton of time reading it. I don't know. My interests have just like, oh, I would rather read this book. I'd rather read this book right now. It's not a bad book. I'm about halfway through. But I'll finish it eventually and I'll use it for these prompts. And then you can see I have, you know, I don't have a rating for these ones yet. So on the stats page, because I entered it, it's counting it as 31, but that's okay. And then it says the month read the most. And then if there's a secondary month, it actually goes down here into September, which is cool. So July and September, I read the same amount of books. And then what prompts you have used it for. And then I love these maps. So we've got the United States and you can see which, I mean, this is the world, obviously, not the US. And you can see which countries I've read from. I've read 14 books that take place in the US and then 8 out of this world. This is a cool little stat right here. You can see that I've read 8 books that don't take place on Earth. And then, yeah, we've got the publisher down here, new versus reread, whether I'm reading series, how I'm reading. I was kind of surprised by this, that it's more of an even split than I thought it would be. I thought it would be mostly like paperback and hardcover, but I have been listening to some audios. I really utilized audio last month. And then ebook, I've read a lot more of. The different genres. The only thing about the stats that I really don't love is the genre. I wish it was just a little less specific because there's no like fantasy option. I wish that there was like a fantasy option, a romance option, like break it down like more like simply. And then if you wanted to make it less simple, you could, but you can't do that, which sucks. Maybe next time, Qwordy. You'll probably not watch this, but that's okay. And then the cover of the book. So there's just so many different stats. If you're like a stats person, you can see mostly I've read from 2025 and then 2023, 2024. So you can see that. You can't see it all on screen. But then authors, so you can see I have some repeat authors, Blake Crouch, Jenny Han, and Nisha Tooley. And it lists all of the authors that you have read from, which is kind of cool. Points calculator. So points system is you can use points that you earn from reading books to make this challenge a little easier on yourself. So you can use rereads, you can use DNFs, you can use like triple up a prompt. So instead of a book being used for just 2 prompts, you can use it for 3, short a prompt by 1 book, that kind of thing. So there's lots of different ways that you can earn points, and you guys can check that out on her website if you're interested. I do write detailed reviews for all of my books so I can get 5 points so that I can use them for stuff. I've only used 1 reread. So you only have to use points on a reread if you have not read 10 new books before rereading one. So up until when my first reread was Trial of the Sun Queen here. Up until then, I had read 20 books already, new books. So I didn't have to count that one or the next reread, Rule of the Aurora King, as I didn't have to use points for that. But for the third one, Fate of the Sun King, I did have to use it because I hadn't read 30 books by then. So for every 10, you get like 1 free reread. So I had to use it over here, but it's the only points that I've spent. So you can use it for shorting prompts, and then it has a little calculation, which is really nice. I have 227 current prompts. And yeah, so let's go to the actual challenges. These are so fun. So you can see here, I put up a little tracker here. So I've done 4 out of the 7. I'm currently reading these 2. That's why they have the name. Kind of my strategy for this is that once I finish the book, I'm putting in the photo. But if I haven't finished it, but I've started it, I'm gonna just write it in here so that I know, say I start another book, I'm not planning on using it twice. I wanna know that something I've already started is gonna be used for that. So after my current reading, I'll only have the 700+ page book to do. And I have a couple of options here. There's definitely more books that are over 700 pages, like Alchemized. I have that one and haven't read it, and it's like 1,000 pages. So yeah, maybe we'll read it. And then the next one is the 24-hour readathon. I have not completed this. I'm not sure when I'm gonna do it. I have, 8 more months to try and do it, or 7.5 more months. But there's no like minimum number of books. I mean, the minimum number of book would be 1. But I'm gonna try to do 3. So I put 0 out of 3. I have an idea of what I might try to read, but basically you would count it for here and then you can only use it for one other prompt. Next would be subgenres of choice. So I chose fantasy. That is my most read genre. And I've got 2 out of the 6 completed. I'm gonna do Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. Historical, I'll probably do, I chose these. There's lots of different options of what you can choose. So I may choose like something else. But these are the ones I'm kind of thinking I'll do right now. So I've got 2 out of 6 there. So, not a lot of progress. Series Staircase, so you have to read a solo or a standalone, a duology, a trilogy, and a book with 4 or more. The one 4 or more can be a book that has, you can read 2 through 5 if you've already read 1 before HRCYED started. So that's that. And these are what I've chosen. I haven't started a duology yet, but we'll see what I want to put in here. The standalone, I'm kind of like saving for when I have a book that doesn't really fit anywhere else, so I could put it there. And then a trilogy, so I need to finish the last, the Summer I Turned Pretty book. And then Red Queen is my quartet or more. I think that's what I'm gonna use. I'm not like 100% sure that's what I'm gonna do, but that's how it is right now. And then we go to award season. So award season is you pick an award. So you do the Hugo, the Nebula, Goodreads Choice, etc. The Goodreads Choice Awards the semi-finalists are out. So this is the one I'm reading right now. Once I finish it, it'll be here for a semi-finalist for Goodreads. And then entrants are a little harder to find. I did find a list of like 200 some odd books that were being considered, but I don't know if that was just all of the semi-finalists all in one list instead of multiple lists. So I'm not sure. You can also use multiple competitions if you can't use one. So that's what I'll end up doing probably. I'll probably do the Goodreads Choice Awards because I have a lot of the books that are nominated and will probably be finalists and winners, but you have to have 1 each. So 1 semi-finalist, 1 winner, 1 finalist, and 1 entrant, and then the other 3 can be any source or any like tier. But you have to do 7 books. So I've done 0 out of 7. TBR game challenge. Okay, so I played The Lord of the Rings, The Two Libraries, and I will link that down below. It is a very fun game. It is also on here. Tabletop. I'm not sure what's on here, but I'm pretty sure it's on here. But it's Lord of the Reeds, yes, by Library Unbounded. It's a very fun TBR game, so I played it, and it was pretty mean to me. So I've completed 5 out of them though. So my prompts were the highest rated on the TBR, which I read The Nightingale, multiple POVs, I read The Housemaid, Fire or Shadow in the title or cover. I have not completed that one yet. Dead Marshes is when you have to go back to the previous Dead Marshes tile and also pick out of your TBR jar. I used my physical TBR jar, so all of the books that I have for physical that I have and haven't read, I used that as my Dead Marshes jar as well as use it for the TBR jar. So I got Tale of the Heart Queen and I read that one, so yay me. And then Fairy Tale by Stephen King, I still have to read. Dark Matter, a book that has an adaptation, I did Dark Matter. Read a book that scares you, The Sundown Motel. Horrors are really not my thing, or paranormal anything is not really my thing. Well, except it's like vampires, I guess, and werewolves, whatever. Horror is not my thing, so I was definitely scared of that book. And then a Dead Marshes tile, I got Babylonia by Costanza Casati, so I haven't read that. And then the TBR jar, I get Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. And then the free pick, I have not chosen either, I figured that'll be one that I just like save for the end. And again, if a book that I don't know where else to put it, I'll put it there. Okay, the last 10 years. So you're supposed to read a book that was published within the last, for each year of the last 11 years. So 2015 through 2025 is actually 11 books. So I haven't done a ton of these. I feel like this one is going to be a little bit of an easier one to fill out. So I'm kind of saving it for last, not last, but you know, if I can't fit something somewhere else, that's where I'm going to put it here. So I've only done 2020 and 2023, and then By Any Other Name by Jodi Picoult I'm going to be using for the 2024 release. And then I have tons of options. I love this section where you can write down all the things that were like published and when you want to use them and all of that stuff. I don't have anything down for 2022 because I was going to use a book, but I ended up DNFing it. So I'll have to fill this out again and pick one for 2022. Adaptations. So this one you have to either read the adapted or watch the adapted or the source material. So there's modern retelling, musical, graphic comic, a graphic novel, play, TV show, web series, animation, movie, etc. So for this one I have done Lady Macbeth, which was based on Macbeth. Wayward Pines was the TV show, and I read Pines by Blake Crouch. And then I ended up watching Finding Neverland, which was off of the manga Finding Neverland. Or what is it? It's not Finding Neverland. It's The Promised Neverland. That's what it was called. I didn't love it. It was just really, really repetitive. But so for the musical, I'm probably going to do Wicked because I have that on audio, or I could just watch a movie. And then Slaughterhouse-Five for the graphic novel or comic. I have the book, and then I also have a graphic novel that I haven't read yet, so that would be really fun to do. Movie, I'm kind of like, nah, whatever. And then I think this is what the Lizzie Something Diaries is, one of the web series. I don't know any web series, so any web series you think I would like, please let me know. Or say like there is a book that has a web series based upon it. I would read the book if I didn't want to watch the web series. So okay, moving on to disability challenge. I've done none, 0 of them. Yep. But I have some options written down here. So if you have any more options for disabilities, please let me know. Heritage months, I've done 2 out of the 9. So I did Hispanic Heritage and Julie Chen is Dead for AAPI. Other than that, I haven't really done them. Women's History, Black History, I don't think are going to be too hard. The Berry Pickers is what I think I'm going to use for this one. LGBTQ plus and disability, I don't think these are going to be like too hard to find books for. Maybe the disability one, if I'd have to, maybe I can like, I'll double up or something. But yeah, that's these. And then translation challenge, I haven't done any. This is one I really need help on. So if you guys have any books that are translated that you think I would like, please let me know. The plan is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman and I Who Have Never Known Men, which is from French. And then Frederick Bachman was originally in Swedish. So I haven't done any translations, but I do need to do that. Around the world. So we've got, none of this I've really filled in. The only ones that I think I'll struggle with, maybe South America. I'm sure I can find something South America. And then Australia, there are secret prompts, and this is really fun. So there's secret prompts each month where you can earn points or earn perks to like help you complete the challenge in addition to the regular point system. So this month for November, you have to not complete, but you have to do the, I'll do it later or something like that tag. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll link it down below someone's video. I'll link Qwordy's video and maybe the original creator if I can find that. But when you complete a prompt, so there's 7 prompts and you can complete up to 7 of them. So when you complete one, you can use a book that you read in 2025, but not during HRCYED, and you can count it towards your challenge. So I do plan on finishing some of the prompts this month. It is the 13th. I haven't done any of them yet, but it didn't start until like the 7th or something. So the Sirens is based on Australia, and I'm also going to be using it for another one, Spooky Creatures. So Wild Dark Shore, this is bonus. You get bonus points if you do it, but you don't have to. So around the world, haven't done anything. Even Bigger Rainbow, I've done 5 out of the 13. So you can see which ones I've done. And then I've got options listed out here for the colors. Not a lot of, not a lot to talk about here. It's pretty simple. So the cover just has to be that color. And you can use alternate covers if you say you want to read Scarlet Angel and you want to use it as black, but you want to use it for red, you can do that. Okay, make a quote. So this one is you read a book for every word in the quote. It's supposed to be like a beloved quote. My favorite quote is "So It Goes." It's from Slaughterhouse-Five. That's the first thing I thought of, but I was like, oh, that's so short. And I like to torture myself. So I was like, no, you can't use that. You have to do a harder one. And then I picked a really hard one and was like, there's no way I can do this. So let me pick the first quote that I like from a book while I'm reading HRCYED. And the first quote that I liked is "The only thing in your way is you." And Jeremy Renner said this several times in his memoir. So I picked that, and this is a lot harder than you think it would be. Because every time I read a book, I'm like, okay, any of these words? No? None of them? Okay, cool. Cool. So the only one I've done is 1, but 1 out of 8. Spooky creatures. So this is one that I'm close to finishing. And so we have a vampire, shifter, magic user, fae folk, spirit, merfolk, zombie, and then other creature. I've done 5 out of the 8. I'm going to use the sirens for merfolk. And then I may triple up another book to do the zombie because I don't know of any books that have zombies in them. So yeah, I might triple up, use points and triple up that one. And then vampire, I don't think it's gonna be hard to do. I can just read Bare Bones, The Midnight Soil, or Zodiac Academy. Zodiac Academy has everything in it. So yeah, I'm pretty good here. And then animals. So these are the animal friends. Oh, I always skip. Why do I always skip ahead? That's so weird. So it's spooky creatures and then become the avatar. Oh, I know why. Because I think I'm on this one, but never mind. You can't even see that. Silly me. Here, let's see if I can actually show you the tabs, because yeah, there we go. That's better. You can see the tabs now. So become the avatar. You have to choose either a cover image or a word in the title. And then you have to do that for all 4 elements. I'm doing cover image because that's just easier. So I've just got the wedding people done. I don't think it's gonna be too difficult to find these things. I just haven't come across books that I wanted to use for this prompt yet. And then animals. So, oh no, readathon challenge. Why do I skip it? So this is the only one that I've completed, which is very exciting. I did the Deck of TBR-a-thon by Becca Books and Bujo, I think is the name. It's listed over here, but I also had already watched her. But so you have the prompt and then the book, and I did 5. I only completed 4 during the actual challenge, but I wanted to do 5. So I did 5 out of 5 and I completed it, and that is exciting. I've completed 1. Okay, now on to animals. So we have, this is the book that I would triple up because I could use it for so much. So we've got wild animals. I used the fox. You can see the fox there on the cover. And then the zoo animals, remarkably bright creatures, giant octopus, obviously. So then farm animals, exotic pets, and house pets. I don't think it's gonna be too difficult. Farm animals maybe will be hard. I'm not sure what kind of books I read that will have a farm animal in it as like a actual main part of the plot, but we'll see. Any options there, let me know. Queer alphabet. So you have to do gay, lesbian, bi, pan, transgender, intersex, polyamory, non-binary, agender, and gender fluid to spirit. So I've done the bi-pan and I've done asexual, and I'll probably use another Murderbot book for non-binary agender because I feel like I think they count as both. And then Page Boy I'm doing right now for transgender. I don't think the other one's gonna be hard except for this one, intersex. The only thing I found is cattywampus. I don't even know what it's about. It's just, I saw it on someone else's video, so I put it in here as an option. Off Armageddon Reef. So this is a science fiction novel where it is a android, but the body of a woman, and then she has to turn herself into a man, and it's not really like an issue. She doesn't like think of herself as a man. There's like a couple of scenes where it's like, uh-oh, I'm a man in a woman, or I'm a woman in a man's body, and it's doing something. But mostly, and then later in the series, it gets it gets different. Like, you know, the attitude that she has, because it's many years in this man's body. But anyway, I'm not sure if that would count as two-spirit, because whatever. But also in Our Infinite Fates I have and could read for that. But let me know if you think that would count as gender fluid or two-spirit. I'm not very versed in the queer alphabet, but that's the reason why I really like this challenge, is because you're reading books that you would never pick up otherwise. So okay, favorite HRCYED1 prompt. I had chose read a book that spells your full name. I thought that was pretty fun. Here are all of the challenges, and then down here I just wrote out my name, and then books that would work for it. Again, I haven't done a ton of this because oh, you know what, I don't have, oh, because I already did F. Yes, I already did F. Because it's not going to be like that hard to do these. There's tons of options, so I haven't really filled in too many of these yet. All right, let's go to the last couple. So we have BIPOC challenge. I've done 2. One thing that I learned about this is that you can use the same ethnicity more than once, different authors it should be, but say if I read another book by a Chinese author, I could use it for BIPOC again. I could use it here even though I've already used Julie Chan is Dead. So there's definitely more options here. Let me know, what are your favorite BIPOC author books? I don't think it's gonna be too difficult to complete. So I haven't really filled in that many of them. New releases. So you have to read a new release within 60 days of its release for each month. So I'm on track here. So I've got July, August, and September done. The October book that I'm reading didn't come out until the 28th. So I have until December 28th to read it. And then the November book did come out at the beginning of this month that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Bonds of Hercules, and then I'm gonna do A Dark Forgetting for November. December, I haven't thought of anything yet. So if you guys have an idea, let me know. Challenge yourself. This is the one that I am so behind on, and what did I do? So, okay. So challenge yourself is the one that I made hard for myself. Of course I did. So my personal challenge, you make a challenge for yourself, and then when you complete it, you do it. I wanted to read 30% of each genre of physical TBR that I owned before 7/1, or had before 7/1, because like maybe I have books that someone gave to me, I didn't want to say bought, or like I've borrowed and haven't given back. Hopefully I can read that one soon. But so 30%, and the books that I have to read out of the genres that I have. So I've done 5 of 35. So I need to do 4 historical fiction, 3 nonfiction, 5 romances, 5 literary/general fiction, 11 fantasy. We've got the spaces for 11 here. 2 sci-fi, 1 YA, 1 mystery thriller, 1 horror, and 2 classics. You can see how many books, I usually tend to read out of this section. I'm surprised I only had 2 sci-fi books at that time. But I had to have owned it before 7/1, and I have to read 30, and I need to read those. Yeah, if I had to owe it before 7/1 for it to count, it has to be a physical book. That's my challenge. So, oops. Okay, nonfiction challenge. You have to read 5 nonfiction books, and they have to be different genres or subgenres. So I read this memoir, My Next Breath by Jeremy Renner, and then I have some other options down here. So we have Why We Love Baseball, which would be sports, Queen Victoria's Daughter-in-Law, which would be history, serial killers. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Serial killers. So that would be like crime, and I think this one is like sociology or psychology. Psychology, not a word. Yeah, so I've done 1 out of 5. I just haven't read, mostly I do memoirs a lot. So memoirs, you can't do 5 memoirs. So I gotta figure out what other nonfiction books I'm gonna read. And then Q's recommendations, I have only done none. I've only done none. So I've written down some of the options here that she's done, and all of her links and stuff are down here too. Oh, good. So we have TikTok, Instagram, etc. So I can link those in the video as well. And yeah, that is it, you guys. This is how I'm doing on HRCYED. I'm not super far along. I hope by the time we check in next month, I will maybe have 1 or 2 more of the board done. Hopefully by the hundreds I could totally do. I'm not that close on many of these. Spooky creatures I could probably have done. So, you know, let's try to get a couple more done by the time I check in with you guys in about a month. I'm gonna do these maybe in the middle of the month because it'll be like, you know, a time when I don't have anything to post. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. I am gonna do some reading vlogs, trying to complete some of these prompts. So I have a wheel and I'm gonna spin the wheel, and whatever prompt it lands on or whatever challenge it lands on, I'm gonna read a book that would count for that. I don't have to use it for that if I don't want to, but you know, say if I get spooky creatures and I have a vampire left, so I need to read a book with vampires in it. I don't have to use it for that, but you know, just to kind of get some of this going. But that is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know if you're doing HRCYED. I think it's really, really fun. And yeah, bye.